Yes, thank you, Ali. Welcome to the Matchday Live half-time show. We are coming from the studio. We've got FG and Michael Brown joining us shortly from Wembley Stadium, where Manchester City lead Nottingham Forest by 1-0 at half-time in the FA Cup semi-final. Oh, it's nice to get off to a good start, isn't it, Andy? And City certainly got off to a good start. Yeah, brilliant start. It's tactically been a masterclass from Manchester City from the start of the game all the way through, and it's going to be very, very difficult. Well, in many ways, it's going to be very simple for Forest to do their half-time team talk because they cannot be any worse than what they were in that first half. And I think that goes so much down to how Pep set the team up. It's just been brilliant. You know, we could go into such depth here about how they've dominated that game and how they've been so in control. And one or two passes a little bit quicker moving it, the second, third, fourth chances will come. But it was a masterclass for Manchester City, that 45 minutes. And it's a shame it's just 1-0.
I think so, yeah. And I think Forest will be delighted to get in at 1-0 behind because that first sort of 18, 20 minutes, it was an absolute onslaught from City. Forest just couldn't deal with them, the rotations, obviously the quality and the technical aspect of the play. Getting the early goal, it didn't sort of settle Forest down. It took Forest probably 20, 25 minutes to settle into the game. So I think Forest sort of rode that storm quite well. I think City sort of missed the trick there, like Andy said, maybe a couple more quick passes. They tried to get a few shots up. Well defended from Forest, but yeah, I think Forest come out of that spell quite happy to be 1-0 down. And they grew into the game as it went on, and as we've seen, they can be dangerous. A couple of times where if the pass had been a bit quicker or the timing of the run had been a little bit later, they might have got in on a counter attack. But it's been pretty, straightforward for City so far. Yeah. 1-0, large-scale dominance for Manchester City. Rico Lewis is the difference maker. We'll come back and we'll analyse that goal and how well he took it, and also. You were right, pre-match, Andy, talking about how Manchester City nearly did it again. Will sort of oscillate their formation, players moving around. It makes it so difficult for Forest to deal with, and they haven't yet got to grips with it. We'll do that shortly, but first we'll take you back to Wembley because FG and Michael Brown are there, and we'll just get their flavour of what it's been like at Pitchside.
Yes, welcome back to Wembley, welcome back. It's half-time, and it only took Manchester City less than 2 minutes to open the scoring. A very comfortable first-half performance. And what a way to start, especially from Rico Lewis.
Yeah, great start. Obviously controlling possession, wondering how the setup was going to be. Kovacic and Bernardo next to each other. Rico Lewis, Jack Grealish, freedom to sort of play like a little box inside, but from there on, he just managed to get into an advanced position. Kovacic commits people, doesn't he? He sees the space, sees the gaps into Rico Lewis. A great first touch. He's wondering, what's he doing there so early? And then his shot, fantastic, right across the goalkeeper. And off he runs because people are wondering where he was going to play, what type of performance we've got from him. And then to have that finish, set him up nicely, great smiles on his face, and then we control the possession.
Yeah, it was a massive, massive goal to start things off, and like you said, we have controlled the first half really, really well. From a Manchester City perspective, we've restricted our opponents to very little. I mean, I think they had one chance late on and it was offside anyway, but defensively they've been solid, they've been in control of the game. Looking at it from the second half perspective, from a Nottingham Forest side, they probably can't do as badly in an attacking sense as they did in the first half.
But you've got to give credit for us to do that because we've jumped on with every press. Wherever there's a short pass, we've been on, we've waited, let the first one go, and then we've stepped on. So listen, it's been really, really good from our point of view. But they're dangerous. They come out, they've got a reaction in the second half, they've got pace and power in wide areas, and that is the thing. Can they get any worse? Yeah, we'd certainly like that, wouldn't we? We'd like another goal and like to see it off very, very early. But they've been used to playing like this. I think that's the point. As I mentioned in commentary, watched them at Aston Villa, first half very poor, then controlled the whole second half. So we don't need that to happen. Very much aware of what they can do, how they jump on, how they go man for man in certain areas in the second half, start taking a chance, start progressing. Gibbs White, Elliot Anderson can get into it, but let's not let them do that.
How late in the second half or how early in the second half do you expect them to make that change? Because at the minute they are quite deep, like you say, they play on the counter-attack. They've had so much success doing it this season, but at the minute, from a Forest perspective, it looks like they're going to continue to create very little unless they take the extra step forward.
They won't be too worried. They're not too concerned at this moment in time playing Manchester City with the scoreline like it is. They'll just say it's all right. Then maybe on the hour mark we start to go a little bit more, then we start to take the chance. Then it's a cup tie, isn't it? Let's go for it. So I don't think he'd be too disappointed, Nuno. I really don't, honestly. I think they're used to it so much. Not having the ball, no problem. got players to come on, and it will take more chances. Gibbs White, he's the one who'll go and get in support and start breaking lines. They'll go back to front a little bit quicker.
And from a City perspective, who have you been most impressed with in the first half?
Josko Vardiol straight away, of his couple of recovery runs, a little bit of detail that he had, getting into good areas. The one that was offside, so he's really enjoying that role, isn't he, in the heart of the defence now. And it's an art to do that, to see the danger, to get in there and make sure his positions and distances are correct. So he's done very, very well. I mean, listen, everybody could do a little bit better. It's all a bit about being the team performance, really, and it's full control. But nobody really sort of gone, that was an amazing play. So it's a team sort of first half. A lot of work to do still in the second half to get us over the line.
A lot of work to be done, absolutely. A lot of work for you to be done as well on the commentary. You're doing a great job, and you have been all throughout the season, and you can listen to this man in the commentary team on the City Plus app. Now we're going to head back up, and we will see you at full time.
FG, Michael Brown, thank you. Still staying true to the jumper around the shoulders. It's going to get colder in North London, so we might see that jumper put on. What we haven't done yet is analyse the goal. Came in the second minute of the game, fast start from Manchester City, and the first touch and finish from Rico Lewis is spellbindingly good. Yeah,
it's Coventry City who does really well, plays it into him, and he takes it on the back foot, sort of opens the goal up, then goes back across the goalkeeper, right in the corner. Great strike, and that puts City on, good footing from a brilliant start to go and dominate the first half. But yeah, in terms of the sort of technical aspects of the goal, it's a great first touch, takes it, opens it up, and he's just drilled it right in the bottom corner. We spoke about Matt Sells before the game. He's not had loads to do, to be fair to him, but he had no chance of that. That's a great finish from Rico.
Certainly was.
If we go back to the start, okay, so they kick off, and within 30 seconds, Savinio is in the right back position, and Nunes is high as you can be, forcing them back, pinning them back in, which then creating space in the midfield. They then move the ball 2 or 3 passes, and then it's a great touch from Kovacic to step past, but then Rico Lewis is our highest player in the team. So it's a great ball into him, and Nicky's talked about the touch, but it's the decision-making of Forest, of who's responsible for who on the turnovers of possession. And that's what baffled them in the first 20 minutes, was not sure who's responsible, because we didn't have a fixed player. Savinio was coming inside. There was points in the first 20 minutes where our 2 highest players in the pitch were our 2 fullbacks, and then we've almost created this kind of a box where they don't know how to stop it. And if we could have freeze-framed, I think it was. I looked. There was 24 minutes, and both our centre halves were in the fullback positions, and Bernardo and Kovacic were the 2 centre halves when the keeper had the ball. And I'm like, it's not something that they could prepare for.
Well, that's the point I was going to pick up. But it's not something you could prepare for. You would not imagine 2 minutes into a game to see Rico Lewis in that position. So take us into the mindset of a defender. When you're coming up against a team like this, how can you react to it?
Chris, I've experienced that as a manager in that turnaround where you literally are man for man. You have to be man for man. So you're responsible, because if we were to be able to see it, the centre halves for Forest will be stuck in. They're not sure who to go in with, because we're playing. It's not even a false 9. They're just, the rotations are that difficult to deal with. So you basically have to be said, you're responsible for him. So then then as a manager, you can see where it's breaking down and how you can try and stop it. But it's so difficult, because the movements and, just the communication and making sure that you're accountable for a player in that last moment. Because for Rico, it is a great touch, but he's got his back to play. He opens his body up, he moves it. So there's almost there's 2 or 3 opportunities for Forrest to affect his first touch, but because nobody knows who's responsible for him, because they probably thought he's going to be one of the 6s. And that's the genius. I'm not going to keep blowing smoke, but that's what the manager, how clever he is. And they've got to go in now and try and get their coaches, their analysts and everything to come up with a system. Now, if they go, we'll get 2 players further up the pitch, we'll even keep the ball more. It's so hard to play against Manchester City.
It certainly is. And the stats, they play that out. We knew that Forest would have less of the ball. 25% first half, no shots, obviously, therefore, none on target, not a single corner, not a single touch inside the Manchester City box. Sorry, 1 touch in the opposition box. That might have even been the offside when Vardiol made the recovery tackle. City have had 13. So it feels like total dominance. It feels like a shutout, but with the score at 1-0, it doesn't count for that much at this stage.
Absolutely, and I think I could have played in goal for City that first
I think you
half.
could.
Yeah, and
I'd like to see it with those sidewinder kicks.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, listen, the second half, it could be a game of two halves. Forest have, I think they'll be. They won't be happy how they've played or how they've dealt with what City have thrown at them, but they're still in the game. If it goes to 2-0, you know, it really is going to be... The next goal is going to be huge.
They've got to be better for it.
They have to change it. But they're still in the game and it only takes a minute.
They have to change it.
Yeah.
They can't just expect something to happen from what that first half.
We might see a Langer. You know,
Well, he would stretch the game, wouldn't he? Give them an outlet.
Might see some... But don't forget as well... To flip that, City have got, you know, Phil Foden,
Options.
De Bruyne, we've got Doku, we've got lots of options. So, you know, it's been a really intriguing first half, but there's a lot more football to be played in this for sure.
Yes, there certainly is. Now, look, before we go back for second half commentary with Ali Mann and Michael Brown, there's loads of ways that you can support City's charity, City in the Community today. And through some of them, you can win some great prizes as well for you and your family. Have a look at this.
Experience unforgettable moments and win exclusive prizes.
Raise your game and support City in the Community.
It's a win for our blue and a win for your charity.
OK, so if you didn't see that, because it did fade quite quickly, mancity.com/CITC prize draw. You've got until tomorrow midnight to enter that, and you can win loads of great prizes. So there you go, mancity.com/prize draw. Check it out, City in the Community. Well worth winning some brilliant Manchester City prizes. So we've touched on the fact that City are 1-0 up, even though they've had total dominance. Early goal, as we got in the first half, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd settle everyone down. And like I said before, the next goal in this is going to be huge. If City go 2-up, you know, you almost think it's not going to be game over, but you almost think that, you know, they've got one foot in the final. But, you know, I'm sure Nuno's trying to, you know, organise Forest, might make a change or two. He won't be happy. He'll be happy enough with the scoreline compared to performance, because they've been way off what the standards they've set themselves this year. So, yeah, we expect a different Forest side this second half.
What do you expect from more of the same second half?
I think they've got to change it. There was a complete dazed look in Nuno going in at half-time. He just looked, you know, he's looking for inspiration from people around him, and now he's got to go and inspire the players. It looks like they're going to make a change.
Yeah,
but,
you called it.
When Nicky said that, my first thought was if they get a player further up the pitch, then it's going to leave even more space for City to play around them. You know,
You think that actually plays into City's hands more than...
Well, it's going to cause more danger, but it will also allow City to dominate the ball in the middle third rather than the defensive third where we've moved the ball and just been able to play around them. That extra player means that we'll get the extra body in midfield and we'll get 4v3s and 3v2s in the middle of the pitch.
So Anthony Elanga does look like he's going through his final warm-up. The fact that he's stripped down, ready to go, suggests that he will be coming on from the start of this second half. Just time to tell you as well, by the way, that the women have beaten Leicester today by 1-0, and there's a couple of really nice side storylines that have come from it. Jess Park got the goal, but she was assisted by Lauren Hemp, who's just back from a horror injury, been out for 6 months, and Alex Greenwood also returned. So a brilliant win for Manchester City's women. They are still in with a shout of Champions League football, and Manchester United is who they play next. You can see behind us now, Nottingham Forest are making their way out onto the Wembley turf, the hallowed turf, some people call it. It's time to go back to our commentary team. You can hear it on City Plus. It's Michael Brown and Alistair Mann.